We are just a short time away from the beginning of the 2025 NHL draft. In this video, we're going to recap some other news and rumors that have taken place this afternoon throughout the NHL. Still lots of trade talk around the Montreal Canadiens and New York Islanders, Vancouver Canucks, and a few others still trying to make lots of moves here. We're going to recap some of the trades we saw earlier, including Noah Dobson, a big trade between Colorado and Columbus. Plus, we had a big signing in Toronto with John Tavares. We had the latest on Thatcher Demko, as well as some of the top picks in the draft maybe still being up for grabs. We'll discuss all we've heard and what we know coming up next. So welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. As I mentioned, it's been a very busy day here. In case you haven't caught up yet, there's all kinds of videos on the channel to sit down and get caught up with all your news. But this one will kind of recap some of what happened earlier in case you've run a little bit behind. First, we'll recap some of the things that happened that there are videos on the channel about. Just to quickly recap, Noah Dobson's been traded to the Montreal Canadiens. So that came together with a package of 2 first-round picks. So the Habs are trading pick 16 and 17, so they no longer have a first-round selection as of right now. They've also included Emil Heineman in that deal for Noah Dobson. Dobson signs an 8-year contract with the Islanders, so it's a sign and trade at $9.5 million per season. There was speculation that Dobson was looking for around $11 million. I think that number might have been a little bit overblown. Combination of that, and well, obviously they negotiated him down, and here we are. So we have ourselves a Dobson trade. Habs obviously looking to, we knew they were looking for a top right-hand defenseman, and they've landed him. So Dobson comes in. He'll likely have a chance to play a lot with Hudson. They'll be competing for power play time. Maybe even both get in the power play. Who knows? But Dobson looking for a rebound season. It sounds like he was interested in leaving Long Island, and the Islanders were interested in maximizing his value rather than signing him to a long-term contracts. The Dobson deal is done. Then we saw another trade between the Avalanche and the Blue Jackets, where the Colorado Avalanche have sent a couple of veterans, Miles Wood and Charlie Coyle, to Columbus for Gavin Brindley, a pretty good-looking prospect, in my opinion, a 2025 third-rounder and a 2027 second-rounder. So clearly, they both had modified no-trade clauses in their contracts. Neither one of them had Columbus blocked, so the deal was able to go through without any hiccups or any consent needed. Wood has a number of years on his contract left. I think it was about $2.5 million, I believe it is, and Coyle into the final year of his deal. So they free up $7.7 million in cap space. So that's a great deal for the Avalanche. They're expected to be able to do some other things. Maybe they re-sign Ryan Lindgren. There's some talk that they may be in on Byram, which we'll talk about, and a few other things that they could be working on. The Edmonton Oilers officially announced their Trent Frederic extension. It's an 8-year deal at $3.85 million per season. The first 4 years contain a full no-move clause. Years 5 and 6 have a 10-team no-trade, and then years 7 and 8, there's a 20-team no-trade. I like Trent Frederic. I think he's a good player. I don't think what you saw in the playoffs is the best version of him. I know players, because I've dealt with it myself, a high ankle sprain takes forever to heal. So I suspect by the time we get to next year, he should finally be more like himself. He can play a middle six role. He's probably a third-line player who can give you some strong physical play, give you 15 to 20 goals. That's what they're hoping for. $3.85 million, maybe not be too bad, but you don't normally see middle of the lineup players or bottom six players get this much term and this much protection. I'm not loving this contract. I like the player. I think that for at least 3 to 4 years, it probably would be fine. I do think, by the time you get past year 4 or 5, the cap's going to be a lot higher, so it should be less problematic, but you don't normally see players like this get that kind of term, and when they do, they quite often don't work out. I like the player. I like that he's staying. I don't mind the cap hit for a while. All the trade protection and the term, though, I'm not really loving that. But he stays in Edmonton and should be a good piece for them moving forward. We'll see how the contract ages. There was another trade as well, which happened before. I think it was late yesterday. It was the Panthers had traded forward Justin Sardif to the Washington Capitals for a second and a fifth. I couldn't believe they got 2 picks out of that player who's not even a regular NHL player. He's been having some good results in the American Hockey League. Obviously, Washington views him as I suspect somebody who they think can make their roster next year, because they wouldn't have given up picks like that for somebody who's going to play in their AHL team, you wouldn't think. So we'll see. Lots of speculation out of Vancouver that Thatcher Demko and the Canucks have made progress and might be inching towards an extension. The belief is it's going to be somewhere between 4 to 6 years. Could be up around $7 million. That's kind of confusing based on how they signed Kevin Lankinen. That's going to be a lot of money tied up in goaltending. I like Demko. He's a great goalie, but I do kind of wonder what they're doing here with 2 goalies signed for that much. Connor Garland is rumored to be inching closer to an extension. Can't be signed until July 1st, so it's likely not going to be announced. But right now it's trending towards being a 6-year deal, around $6 million per season. That actually, based on how he plays, his production isn't too bad. Don't mind that one quite so much. John Tavares inked a deal with the Maple Leafs to remain in his hometown team today. A 4-year deal at $4.38 million. When I first heard the deal on the earlier video, I was a little confused why it was $4.38. Now we know, the details emerged a little bit later, that there's some deferred money here. That's why. So how it works in year 1, there's a $1 million salary and a $4.5 million signing bonus. Year 2, there's $1 million salary and a $4.5 million signing, or $4 million signing bonus. Year 3, there's it's just all salary, $3.7 million. Year 4 is all salary, $1.8 million. There's $2 million in deferred money that's payable 5 years after the expiring of the contract. So we are 2025 right now, so that'll expire in 2029. And then it'll be payable then. So I believe it'll be around 2029, 2030s, but he'll get that $2 million bucks. Full no move clause in the first 2 years. And years 3 and 4, there's a modified no trade where he has a 5-team list that he can provide. So at least in years 3 and 4, there's some flexibility there between a little bit of wiggle room on trade. There's no signing bonuses, so if you want to consider a buyout, there's a little more flexibility, and obviously a big discount for what he was making before, even though he's still been pretty productive. Brandon Saad's expected to return to Vegas. I don't know if this has been officially announced, but I believe he's signing a 1-year deal to stay in Vegas with a $2 million salary. So that's another good signing there, along with Riley Smith, who signed really cheap as well. The Penguins are a team to watch tonight. There's still word that they're looking at moving up in the draft. They have 2 first-round picks. Lots of chatter around Brian Rust. A team like Buffalo is apparently very interested. We've also seen some reports that the Penguins are one of the teams that are interested in Bo Byram. I don't know if there'd be a deal there between the two, but it could be something separate. But there is definitely chatter between the 2 teams. When it comes to Byram, there is a lot of teams that are interested, but the belief that Elliot Friedman said was that right now Buffalo just wasn't loving the offers as of yet, at least as of last night. The offers, he said that they felt like they were just a little soft, and they were hoping they were going to get better throughout the draft weekend to make the deal. The Blues are, I believe, a team that's interested. There's some belief that they might be dangling Jordan Kyrou. So I don't know, Kyrou for Byram, some sort of deal. I'm not sure, but something along those lines could materialize. Like I said, the Avalanche are a team, after freeing up a bunch of cap space, to believe that they might be one of the teams that on Byram. There's a bunch of other ones too. I think LA to some degree. And a bunch of others. Toronto, I think, is considering it too, but they don't really have a lot of room. I think they're more focused on getting a higher end forward to replace Marner at this point. In Montreal, of course, after that Dobson trade and signing the big contract, obviously he's on the books now and takes up a lot of money. There is some speculation that they could be looking to make a cost-cutting trade to free up money elsewhere. One reporter, I think it was Dave Pagnotta, said that he's heard that Brendan Gallagher's name is out there, but I know there's some Montreal reporters saying that they don't think that's the case. So, not sure. I know Gallagher's still making $6.5 million for a few years, so not sure how easy that would be. And he actually played a little bit better last year too. So, we'll have to wait and see. But we know Montreal's not done. The reports are they're being very aggressive. They're still looking for a number 2 center. And they're probably going to be likely to make some sort of other deal tonight or tomorrow to figure that out. Jack Quinn did re-sign in Buffalo as well. He signs a 2-year bridge contract at $3.375. I don't mind that contract. I think Buffalo at this point should have been more comfortable going longer term, but I know last year he's kind of been an up and down kind of player, kind of streaky, so I can see maybe why they might want to hold off going long term, but this leads me to think that he's probably not being traded. because there's a lot of talk about a lot of players in Buffalo right now, so we don't know what's all going on there. But Quinn appears to be staying with this deal. And there's some reports, some that think that the Sharks might be willing to trade the second overall pick. Now, there was a lot of chatter, and I even included it on my mock draft that I put out yesterday, that a lot of people believe that the Sharks are going to take Anton Frondell at number 2. And at this point now, there's some sources talking, and some of the reporters are saying, no, for a while it looked like Frondell. They're pretty sure it's going to be Michael Misa now. So now they're back on Misa, and then Mike Greer apparently has kind of been let it known that he would trade this pick if he gets an offer he likes. Believe that they're looking for a high-end young forward, preferably. So I don't know. I mean, obviously, I think it's just there's mixed signals out there. There's, like I said, there's been different reports about different players, and now it's possibly for trade. I just think they just don't want anybody to know what they're doing, and just trying to throw people off. Of course, the Islanders will be a big team to watch tonight. They've got multiple first-round picks from Montreal now, along with the first overall pick. The belief is they're trying to take those assets, maybe even include something else if they have to try to get up into the top, probably 7 or 6. At this rate, it sounds like there's a decent chance that if Hagens is available at 6, Philly might take him. Unless Martone is there, then they might go that route. The belief is that Philly really likes Porter Martone as well. So we'll have to see what happens here. Clearly, I think the goal is to lead with Schaefer and Hagens. It's just not going to be easy. Other players like Pajot, Romanov, they could all be included in some sort of deal, along with those 2 first-rounders that they just picked up. So we'll see. I know between the Flyers, the Bruins, the Predators, like they're probably engaged in conversations with a bunch of those teams trying to get up into that higher end part of the draft, and we'll have to wait and see what happens. Some more news that came out as well is we did get the announcement of the memorandum of understanding for the new CBA. Unfortunately, because of the fact that it's not ratified and voted on yet by players, they were not able to release the full details of what's in it. But of course, we had already talked about before at length what some of the items were. The contract lengths are shortening by 1 year in each scenario. There's going to be some form of a playoff salary cap to close the LTIR loophole. We do know that as well. We know, and I've just seen as well for Frank Saravalli, that they are going to be mandating neck guards for players entering the league during this contract as well, which is good. And obviously the NHL schedule appears to be expanding from 82 to 84, with the season starting earlier. Still a 50-50 split amongst the owners, and we'll go through and get into all the other details once they're all confirmed. But there was a video that I did the other night with a lot more of those details that were rumored to be in there, but we couldn't get confirmation from Gary Bettman or any of the PA people on what was actually in there for sure. And of course, we got the latest update as well. Sam Bennett is staying. As he said in the bars, he's not effing leaving. And 8 times 8 is his contract. 8 years, $8 million per season. Pretty much what everybody thought. He does get some no move clause for the first chunk of it. Modified no trade for the final few years. So yeah, no big surprise. No word yet on Marchand or Ekblad. Things are still trending towards Ekblad likely leaving. Marchand is, I think, about 50-50. We'll wait and see. The Maple Leafs are indeed shopping Nick Robertson and David Kampf as well. A couple of players that are out there and could very well find themselves on the move, if not today or this weekend over the draft, over the course of the next little bit of the offseason. So we'll see what happens. Otherwise, enjoy the draft. I'll be back later with more videos on once we have more activity throughout the night. If there's trades during the draft or something that happens here in the short term, I'll be here reporting it, and then look for some more draft videos later on tonight once the first round is over. So stay tuned. We'll keep you up to date with all the news and rumors around the entire league, around the entire draft. It's going to be a fun but yet busy night. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.